Good day and welcome back to my show. My name is Chantal Ngumalo and I'm a proud member of the Zaio team. I'm very excited to launch this platform because this is where we get to know our tech inspirations and our tech gurus. With me is Lloyd Madisha. He is a UTT graduate and he's currently working with Wemasoft. A friendly reminder that Zaio is launching. So please do register early to avoid any kind of disappointment. It's only 200 a month, only 200 a month. If you can afford Netflix, you can afford, McD, you can definitely afford our platform. And if you're watching this and it's already May, it's already June, it's already very late in the year, worry not. You can still register for a platform because we have a unique approach, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, we have a very unique approach, which means you can never fall behind and we tailor the experience for your needs. So welcome, Lloyd.
Thank you for having me here.
Very, very nice to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm fine, and you,
Um,
and yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. So tell me about yourself, Lloyd. What do you do and where do you work?
I graduate from TUT, and I'm working at the Wemasoft, where it's an IT company where we deal with an e-procurement systems, e-learning, and also HR, among others. In my spare time, I like to code and also play around with the code.
That's nice. So tell me, explain programming or coding to me, like to someone who has never coded before. How do you explain it?
Coding and programming, these words can be used interchangeably.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, programming is just writing a series of steps for the computer to execute them to produce a certain result you're expecting. Yes, I think that's about it.
Oh, that's about it. Okay. So what are your proudest moments, on coding? What is something that you did and you were like, wow, I can't believe I did that?
One of my proudest moments is when you are presenting the, let's say, just a final product to the client and
Mm-hmm.
how show him how it works, and he's extremely excited about it. He cannot even contain himself.
Mm,
Mm, I think that's it. Seeing
okay.
the client happy about the product you produced.
Let's talk about you on a personal level. You know how you've graduated now, which means from when you were in high school to when you did coding for the first time and your code worked, and you're like, oh my God, my program works, to now to graduating and now you're doing it for a client. How has that changed you? How has that changed your way of life?
I was introduced in coding at the university. Well, I
Mm,
didn't know anything about it before. The reason I did IT is because I was fascinated by computer games. To be
mm,
honest, I wanted to be a game developer rather than a software.
mm.
So when I got to TUT, where I first coded, yeah, that's when I realized that my passion lies with software development rather than the game developer. As you know, like the world is becoming more digital. That means more work lies in IT stuff. I'd say it changed my life in a way I look at the problems. I am more concerned about how to solve them step by step rather than
Mm.
just jumping to conclusions.
That is very impressive. So there's someone who, like we teach people how to code here at Zayo. So there's someone who wants to learn how to code, but they don't know where to start. They don't know how to do it. They don't know if they even should do it. They should even sign up for the platform. Do you have any kind of advice to make sure that they take that final leap of faith and finally learn how to code?
It's a definitely yes. They should learn to code. The first thing they have to do is obviously get a computer,
Mm-hmm.
and there are a lot of materials on the internet where they can learn coding. You don't necessarily have to start at university or at school,
Mm.
because most of people we work with are self-taught programmers and they're actually good. They don't need a lot of things to start coding. Depending on what kind of specialization you want to, if it's a web development, there are certain languages that you can use like PHP. If it's computer applications, programs like Microsoft Word, Excel, you have to go with Java or C++, those type of languages. I think the first thing you can do is make a research on which languages do you want to use that align with what you want to do, and then start learning them.
Okay, that's
Yeah, I think
amazing.
that's
That's
about it.
That's amazing. So if you're watching this, sign up for a platform and learn how to code. Like he's saying, the people who are self-taught, people who have taken it upon their hands, they didn't go to university, but they're very good. So we can help you with that. Now I have one final game that we can play. It's Mythbuster. Now I'm going to give you something, a statement, and you're going to tell me whether or not you think it's fact or it's a myth. 1, you need to be a genius in order to learn how to code. Fact or myth?
It's a myth. You don't have to be a genius to know something.
Okay, I definitely agree with that. And then myth number 2, sorry, my phone just locked. Myth number 2, you need a degree in order to learn how to code.
No, that's not true. It's a myth. As I specified, I know most of self-taught programmers. Even on the YouTube, most of them, they are self-taught. They haven't graduated. I also have a friend who's helping me with a program I'm working on now. He didn't go to school. Well, he was at school, but he didn't graduate. So he does qualify as someone who hasn't graduated, but he knows coding.
Okay.
So it's a myth.
So it's a very, it seems like it's a very open field that anyone can get into. It's just a bit challenging, but anybody can get into it.
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, some programming languages are better than others. Fact or myth?
That's also a myth. Programming languages, they have their own specialty. You can't compare the one you use for desktop applications with the one you use for a website. I mean, like if one works the way it's supposed to work, how can you compare it with another one where it's supposed to work on its special field?
That is amazing. And the 4th one, is it true that coding is boring? You know, people will say, I don't want to learn how to code. I don't want to develop because I don't want to work a dead end job. I don't want to be depressed. Like, as someone who's working full time, how are you finding it?
It's definitely not boring. I mean, like there are many ways you can do something in coding. So you get to experience different ways and improve yourself in different methods because everyone has their own coding style. So I think it allows you the space to be creative in solving problems. Definitely not boring.
Okay. And then the final one. The final one is, yes, do you think there'll be a robot uprising? We've watched Tony Stark, The Avengers, iRobot, like all those artificial things. I know it's still fantasy, but do you think that we'll get to a point where we are at war with, our creation in the tech industry?
No, I don't think so. If something happens, you can just turn it off. So there's also that we have means to create them and also the means to destroy them. So even if they can uprise, they can never overpower us.
Okay, and that's perfect. Thank you very much for joining me, Lloyd. It was such a pleasure to have you. Do you have any closing words, any final advice, anything?
Yes, to anyone watching this, they should definitely sign up to Zaio so that they can see how interesting IT is. It has more of job opportunities. So knowing programming will definitely be advantageous to them.
Definitely. So you've heard it from Lloyd. Sign up for a platform today. You are definitely going to have a job because you see how, there's always a demand. Whether you have a degree or not, there will always be a demand for people to develop and to code. So we can't wait to welcome you all. To those that have signed up early, thank you. To those that are yet to sign up today. And if you're watching this months later, it's okay. You can still sign up. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you, Lloyd.